back to Dies Irae. We left in the middle of a fight again. An actual fight this time, so let's see how this all unfolds in this part.
それとも神風主義ってやつなのか？相変わらず東洋人は飽きやがんねえな。気合で勝てりゃてめえら戦争に負けてねえよ。
Oh, is this the so-called kamikaze mentality you people have? You Orientals make no sense as usual. A willpower alone could net you a victory. You guys wouldn't have lost the war. Well, oh, he didn't need to tell me. I knew that painfully well. What I needed now was a physical way to win. Striking during openings, coming up with plans, or dealing damage through straight-up methods wouldn't help me here. I couldn't use violence within the boundaries of common sense to defeat someone who existed outside it. Not to mention how he was toying with me while calmly forging my battle prowess. Even if I could find some way to beat him, he'd most likely counter it in an instant. But even so, I couldn't just...
気に食わねえな。
Man, you really do piss me off.
お前、絶望が足りねえ。これから死ぬやつの目をしてねえ。
No, you're not nearly terrified enough. You ain't got the eyes of someone who's about to die.
こんなたわけた国と時代じゃ、自分が死ぬって実感も持てねえのか？いや、違うな。そうじゃねえ。
Is it because dying feels too surreal in an ancient country as lukewarm as this? Nah, that's not it.
覚えがあるぜ。そういう目。まるであのクソと同じじゃねえかよ。その全て分かってますってなつら。
I remember those eyes. They remind me of that goddamn son of a bitch. A gaze that screams he already knows everything in advance. Wilhelm crumbled to himself, his gaze practically shooting icicles in my direction. Suddenly, I felt like that stare of his was robbing me of my body heat. I found my body simultaneously assaulted by a sickening combination of nausea, intoxication, and itchiness. I could neither breathe or blink. Hell, I couldn't even lift a finger. My strength had been drained, as if my life force was being siphoned out. In the blink of an eye, the blood pouring from my wounds began to evaporate.
お前、まさかな。もしかして。
The fuck? Are you actually? They shortened that quite a bit in English. I felt convinced that it wasn't my fate to die here today. I will let the voice actor love his way through. In a complete turnabout, Wilhelm sounded a cackle, seemingly amused by something. His shoulders trembled violently as he attempted to hold it in, yet he ultimately, erupting into booming laughter, unable to contain himself. Now this party's getting started. Not even the dark of Wilhelm's sunglasses could hide the fact that his eyes glowed a bright hue red. A demonic aura powerful enough to manifest as a physical force proceeding to beat down my whole body with the rage of a squall. Right now, my resolve was the only thing keeping my fleeting consciousness intact. Had I been mentally defenseless when I took that stare head on, it would have been enough to instantly kill me.
面白い面白すぎるぞこの虫けらレッドやらてめえあのクソ気狂いバカの腐れるのを信じてんのか笑わせるじゃねえか身の程知らずのカスがよ
This is great. Fucking great, I'm telling you. Oh, you really make my blood boil, you little sack of shit. You believe that sorry fucking excuse for theory? Don't make me love, you filth. Know your place.
いいなあいいぜお前そうするぜ食いて
Sorry.
たまんね串刺して引き裂いて引き出して吊るして晒して吸ってやら
Calm down. Ah, now, that's what I'm talking about. This is the stuff. I'm so fucking excited I can't take it. I'll screw you, tear you apart, rip you into shreds, hang you up, expose your intestines, and drain you. His cry was an eruption of undiluted, unmistakable ecstasy. The man before me found himself both overjoyed and enraged by something beyond my comprehension.
冗談じゃねえ許せねえ俺が小僧一匹やれねえなんて舐めてくれるじゃねえか相変わらずよだったら試してやろうじゃねえか
What an insult. Don't screw with me or I'll fuck you up. You're as condescending as always, aren't you? You say I can't kill one little brat? Then why don't I give it a try?
ここでこのガキぶち殺せば俺はてめえより上ってことだよなメルクリアス
If I kill this fuckstain right here, that'll prove that I'm better than you, won't it? Mercurius? The surging waves of murderous impulse and evaporating blood dyed my vision red. Before me stood an honest-to-goodness scumbag, a genuine monster with no constraints to hold him back. In the face of that merciless pressure, I couldn't tell whether my heart was still even beating. I would die. Yep. His demonic arm of instant death came swift and sure. It appeared to move in slow motion, yet I could easily tell that a single hit from it would pulverize my skull. So, would I die here as just another victim? Seriously? Was I really going to die right here? Tell me, have you ever experienced the sensation of foreknowledge? Well, we read this already, so yes, we know the sensation now. The prior knowledge of a certain thing, a phenomenon that assaults all senses, sixth included. For instance, I've witnessed the scenery before, I've tasted this wine before, I've smelled this aroma before, I've heard this song before, I've bedded this woman before. I've experienced all these things before. If so, then no bliss will ever bring joy, nor will any threat instill fear. The ability to feel moved by anything the world has to offer is the price paid for one's personal paradise. In that paradise, no one is downtrodden, no one is deprived of a thing. that world's only master is foreknowledge, a ceaseless recursion of repeating events. Yet in the grand scheme of things, is that not a denial of the concept of time? In truth, being robbed of anything in such a state is but an impossibility. Phenomena around you die only to be born again, repeated ad infinitum. You may think of it as a water wheel. It continues to spin and spin, forever drawing and spilling water. Once you realize that this same concept constitutes the universal construct of the cosmos and its inhabitants, then what have you to fear? In your daily existence you do not care for moments that take your breath away, for ascribing validity to foreknowledge is indeed in your very nature. You remain unlike one such as I, who craves desperately for the unknown. Now, Zarathustra, will you accept the gift I have prepared to grant your wish? Both you and her were born to this world for a similar purpose, for her to meet you and for you to wield her. Abominable girl, cursed girl, pitiful girl, damned girl. Hate her and love her, protect her and destroy her. She is the world's singularity, a being outside the boundaries of that law. She is dead, yet she is not. She exists outside this world's concepts, perpetual, eternal, immortal, divine, infinite, life beyond death, Ewigkeit. To control the Ahnenerbe, to wield it as the executioner's blade that would reap the head of this universe's law, that is Ewigkeit. The sorcery I weaved and granted to my sworn friend and his followers. But its true successor is none other than you. The very fact that I am giving her to you is firm proof of that. Indeed, for instance, take a good look at the man attempting to murder you. He too is yet another wielder of Ewigkeit, one of the beast's many fangs, a man who had devoured countless souls to elevate himself above mere mortals. Yet hardly does that mean he cannot be toppled by you. The Ahnenerbe lusts for souls. The more they kill, the more they devour, the stronger their wielder become. Yet far be it for me to claim that quantity alone could triumph over quality. Listen well, Zarathustra. What I am about to grant you is both the most wretched and the most beautiful soul mankind has ever birthed. With her by your side, a mere 1,000 or 2 inferior souls should pose no threat whatsoever. You have my word that when you reach completion, your progress will rival even that of my own sworn friend. I shall anxiously await the coming of that day. Therefore, allow me to bestow upon you her soul, as well as the words to ignite the flames of sorcery. Verweile doch, du bist so schön. I know this since I had to record this part before. I'm sorry. Halt, O time, for thou art fair. And as I said in the last part, I will use the German one. I think it sounds way better. Verweile doch, du bist so schön. Well, I don't know if it sounds better for you, but it does for me. Halt, O time, for thou art fair. Yeah, it doesn't match it quite as good as the German one, since it is originally German. Verweile doch, du bist so schön. Within that hollow empty space following a moment that felt like an eternity. Ewigkeit! Where a single second had been extended to last a million, my peculiar conversation with the entity finally came to an end. Wilhelm's approaching fist of immediate death had barely moved from where I'd last seen it. Could I dodge it and then launch a counterattack too? If so, then how would I do it? Both my hands and feet had been broken to hell and back. Even if I did try headbutting or biting him, I'd probably just end up hurting myself again. There was no point in trying conventional attacks. Simple punches or slashes wouldn't even put a dent in his armor. Then what would I have to do? How would I fight him? With a skill that could break through swords, with an art that could devour them, with a blade that could put an end to eternal recurrence. I'd already known them. And so, time began to move once more.
Bei, お前は何をしている?
Bei, what are you doing? The first thing I perceived upon returning to my senses was an intelligent, yet slightly irritated-sounding voice. Wilhelm stopped right in front of me, his hand frozen in the shape of a bird of prey's claw. A dark-haired girl stood next to him, holding in place the very same hand that would have decimated my entire face with ease.
何のつもりだ、レオン?
What are you trying to pull, Leon?
てめえはなぜ俺の楽しみを邪魔しやがる?
Why the hell are you getting in the way of my fun?
まずこちらの問いに答えてほしいな、カズイクルベイ中尉殿。お前は一体何をしている?
Before any of that, I preferred if you answered my question. First, Lieutenant Kaziklu Bay, what in the world are you doing?
何をしているかだと?
What am I doing, you ask?
見てわからねえか? 試してるのさ。ここでくたばるようなボンクラなら用はねえ。
Ain't it obvious? I'm testing him. We've no use for dimwit that would only get offed here.
なら彼は合格だろう。経緯はどうあれ生き延びた。
Then he's passed, hasn't he? Details aside, he did survive.
先の問いには、お前の行動が生産杯芸家の意向を逸脱しているからだと答えよう。さらに言うなら、この件は私に一任されている。こちらの指揮には従ってもらいたい。
As for your previous question, it's because your actions are deviating from His Eminence the Divine Vessel's will. That's my answer. Furthermore, this matter has been entrusted to me. I would like you to obey my orders.
俺がお前の指揮下にあるだと?
Are you saying I've been placed under your command?
芸家から聞いていないとは言わせないぞ。理解できなかったのなら、もう一度私から分かりやすく言ってやろうか。
His Eminence must have made mention of this. I won't let you feign ignorance. Would you like to hear it again from my mouth so it's easier to understand? Wilhelm's right wrist made a cracking sound. His flesh, the same body I couldn't even inflict a scratch on, buckling under pressure from the girl's slender hand. I couldn't believe my eyes.
彼に関して、お前に生殺与奪の権利などない。これ以上逆らうなら、黒煙卓に対する範囲とみなすぞ。お前の名誉は忠誠ではないようだからな。
You have no right to decide his fate. Any further defiance will be seen as dissent against the obsidian round table, for it would appear that your honor is not your loyalty in such a case.
面白い。範囲ときたか。了解。了解したよ、お嬢ちゃん。
Would you look at that descent, you say? Roger. I hear you loud and clear, Missy.
黒煙卓ができた時に生まれてもなかったやつに言われちゃおしまいだが、お前が正しい。ああ、正しいと思う。 名誉は大事だよな。名誉はよ。
Can't believe I'm being lectured by someone who wasn't even born when the Obsidian Round Table was founded. But you're right. Oh, absolutely right. Honor is indeed important. Yes, it is.
だからこのガキのことはもういい。知らん。バラそうが逃がそうが、またぐら開いて乗っかろうが好きなようにするがいいやな。けどよ。
I've lost interest in that brat. He means nothing to me. Kill him, let him go. Hell, go right his cock for all I care. Do whatever you want, but
お前はなんで俺に触れてる？
why are you touching me?
何？
What? It happened so suddenly. Wilhelm struck the puzzle woman with all his wrath.
てめえは劣等の分際で何をなるなるしく俺の体に触れてやがるって言ってんだよ。
Where the fuck does a subhuman brat like you get off touching me like we're buddies? At the same time that landmine of a hole went off, the girl swept my legs and blew me away with a hit to the shoulder. The impact ravaged my internal organs, stirring up a new wave of nausea, but I was in no mood to complain. The reason was simple, because I would have died had she not done that. The brief moment I'd seen of Wilhelm's overwhelming wrath was enough to make me associate it with the very incarnation of death. Pathetically vomited up a mixture of stomach acid and blood, realizing how much of a miracle it was that I even survived. As for them,
やってくれるな。死にたいのか、ベイ。
you've done it now. You want to die, Bay?
そりゃこっちのセリフなんだよ。四半世紀も生きてねえチンケな猿が誰にタメ口聞いてやがる。
That's my line. Some inbred monkey that hasn't even lived a quarter of a century has no fucking right to talk to me like that. Well, we'll see how this unfolds in the next part. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you then. Bye!